It's deep.
What, there's 17 freshmen projected?
Yeah, you're right about that.
I thought we had our best 2 practices in months on Tuesday and Wednesday. And just trying to get Troy to focus on his defense. I think when you do that, your offense starts to come back to you. But obviously a great win, great way to close out Fifth Third Arena, and against a team that's been playing extremely well to dominate the game the way we did. Defensively, we were as good as we've been in a long, long time. You know, and to be honest with you, if you get Kyle with 2 feet in the paint going to his left, he almost never misses. That would probably, and we still were able to dominate the game. But he's delivered for us in a major way all year. He can save some of those makes for Sunday. We're going to need him on the road. But great win for our team. Great effort by the guys against a very good basketball team. We made them look like they're not tonight, but they are. I promise you they are. I've been watching. You know, their last 8 games, 7 wins, and a tight one against SMU. So, guys, they just did a tremendous job. Our effort was off the charts tonight.
What was the plan against particularly Gray and Dotson? How were you able to stop them?
Just, you know, some terminology we use is like a football terminology against a great running back. You got to load the box. They got to see. They can't ever play one-on-one. If you play team defense against great players. So we try to make sure that Dotson didn't get catch and shoot threes, which he didn't until the game was over. He only had 2 points and a half. That was the real key to the game. And then, you know, Rob Gray, he's going to make tough shots because he can shoot off the dribble, but just trying to keep his percentage low. So, you know, he had 17 points, but it took him 15 shots. Try to make sure he's taking hard ones. And he'll make some hard ones. But it's hard to shoot a high percentage. You take a lot of shots off the dribble. So that being said, we haven't out-rebounded a team like this in a long time. So that's something I'm really happy about. Plus 16 on the points. Key to the game was the first play, getting Zach a low post touch. That was the key to the game.
Nick, could you tell it meant a lot to the guys just to close out this arena the right way, knowing all the history here?
Yeah, I think so. You know, but you know, and it won't really, you know, I think these guys they weren't alive, so they weren't thinking the way I was thinking. You know, I think they're thinking senior night, Troy, Kevin, and Zach. We need to think. I think after the game they realized that. You know, I didn't talk a lot about that at all. Just try to keep the guys focused. There's so much noise going on now about seeding and bracketology. It's a distraction. So we just got to worry about practice and today have a great practice. So I try not to talk about that. But I think there's no doubt they realize it now because our athletic department did it. I love what they did by having stuff off the walls so people walked in and was like, wow, this is really happening. Stuff's already coming down. For me personally, it was nostalgic because you got, you know, the way I grew up going to games in the Garden, you know, I sat at games at Riverfront Coliseum. It wasn't U.S. Bank. It was Riverfront Coliseum with yellow, blue, and green seats. Watching Roger McClendon play, and my close friend Doug Keckman, who used to average 1 point a game. I can't wait till he sees that tomorrow. But yeah, so you know, the turning point in this program was when this building opened. You know, there were 2 key things I just told Chuck. Obviously, Bob Huggins and Chuck came, and their whole staff. And we opened this building. You know, those 2 things changed the course of history to where Cincinnati's put Cincinnati back on the map. It's a basketball program. So when I sat down for this game, I've never felt nostalgic. Going out for my first game coaching here, I was thinking about getting a win. I was younger, I was crazier than I am now. But when we sat down for the tip-off, I realized, like, this you know, and I'm not a guy that thinks about cool stuff like that. You know, I'm not a nostalgic guy at all. I'm probably not the most lovey-dovey human, but I thought about it. I didn't get teary-eyed about this. You know, this is pretty neat. You know, this really is. This happening. I've been begging for this for like 8 years. It's happening. I mean, I was looking up stuff off the walls. It's really happening.
Did you think about what the new building's going to mean?
Oh, I think about that every day. You know what? The facilities are so important to recruiting. You know, and you know, if Coach Uggs was here, he would tell you how important this place was to getting Herb Jones and all those guys. It changes. You know, with those guys all have come if we were still playing downtown. And that's the old down, not the renovated one we see now if you go to Cyclones games. It was the old with the yellow seats.
This one's bad.
You said that. I don't think so. But, so it was neat. Appreciate it. Our fans were awesome again. Sell out and close out a season undefeated at home. As always, your goal was a team. I don't know if us and Oregon are maybe the only people that did it this year. I don't know. Not sure. I know we have this. They have won more at home than us, but it's tough to do. You know, people say it's not easy to win. You start taking winning for granted when you have our record. It's not easy to win. I can promise you, Houston practiced. The guy, Coach Sampson, is one of the best in the country. He's won over 630 games, and they prepared. And so I'm really proud of the guys and their effort tonight.
How much have Troy and Kevin meant to this program?
Oh,
Kind
God.
of be in that phase after SK and
Well, I would say, you know, in two different ways. You know, I think that Troy shouldered a lot of responsibility for 3 years with the ball in his hands to win us games. At times, when he was younger, he had to do it really before he was ready. What, you know, when he was a sophomore, we asked him to do stuff that he probably wasn't ready to do yet. And he, you know, again, he's not me. He's not Teflon. He probably reads. You know, he had some tough endings to some games maybe, and he kept going. He pushed through it, and look at him. I don't know where he stands in all-time wins as far as Bearcats. Top 10. I know that the only time I ever heard him, he asked that question. He wanted to know who would won the most games as a player. So. Now Kevin's different. You know, I think in my world, the way I look at sports, Kevin Johnson is, you know, we would have been dead without his toughness. When SK, Justin, and Titus when they graduated, we needed Kevin's toughness. And, you know, I think coaches say that, fans just move on. They don't even pay attention. But I can promise you that anybody's ever coached team sports at any level knows what I'm talking about. Kevin Johnson is a tremendous competitor. Like that game was close. After a timeout, I said we got to start playing harder on defense and taking Houston out of their rhythm. I don't know, it was like 20-18. Come out of that timeout, and he gets a steal and a layup, and that's gone on his whole career. And you don't teach stuff like that. You don't. As a coach, you try to teach the competitive fire that a guy like Kevin has, but you can't. I promise you can't. I've lost my mind trying to do it, to be honest with you. I mean, over time, he is an unbelievable competitor. Like in my mind, if he decided to go join Luke Fickell's team, he would be his best wide receiver next year. And he'd go over the middle and he'd catch balls and he wouldn't be scared at all. Like that's who he is. And when you got a guy like, you got to have guys like that. You got to have them. Rashad Bishop was that way. Jaquan Parker was that way. SK, just, Bobby Brandon, my guy, was that way. They're just, if you get in a dogfight, that he is not backing down. Because what happens, it makes everybody else around you a little bit tougher. So, Kevin's value to our program, obviously everybody would talk about Troy's, but in my world, stats can be overrated. To me, they're equal, what they've done for us. And then, obviously, Zach, I told you, it was the key to the game tonight. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.